What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And I want to talk about a topic that was discussed on First Things First, right? And Nick Wright was discussing basically he was discussing like how much faith do he have in the Lakers organization as far as being able to turn that organization into a winning team with Luka Doncic, right? And basically, he said he didn't really have any faith in the organization. He felt like that the organization was wasting. Let me see. He felt like the organization was wasting Luka's prime years, right? And I kind of agree with him, but in my opinion, all of the blame can't go on just the organization. And I think that Luka Doncic has to take some of the blame and some of the responsibility. You know, and I say this about a lot of basketball players, NBA basketball players who make it to the league. You can't once you make it there, you can't just be satisfied with that because the year after you make it there, you still, there is the next year, the very next year, you have another whole nother draft class coming in, people who want to compete for your job. And so it should be you should never be comfortable as a professional basketball player. You should always want to get better. And that is, in my opinion, that's Luka Doncic's responsibility. So although I do believe that the way that JJ Redick is coaching his team, I think is doing a disservice to Luka because if he really cared about the future, and maybe JJ Redick hands are tied because he can't really, I don't think, bench LeBron James or cut LeBron James minutes the way he need to in order to make this team better. If you remember when LeBron James was out for those first that first month that he was out or 6 weeks that he was out, the team was, they were winning and they looked a lot better and they had their chemistry was a lot better, right? So that's part of the situation right now is that the Lakers are not able to coach this team the way they need to coach the team so they can be successful. But with that being said, like I said, with Luka, it's Luka's responsibility to get better and want to elevate his game. And I don't see that with Luka. I see right now is Luka spends a lot he spends a lot of time just really just arguing with referees, looking for calls, flopping, and resting on defense, right? And that, in my opinion, that's not championship basketball. That's not basketball that's going to be able to win playoff series, let alone get you to the championship. And here you are with Luka. Had Luka had that type of mentality, the work mentality, the championship mentality when he first came into the league, I figure by now Luka probably would be a much more dominant basketball player, much more competitive basketball player than what he is now. So basically, in my opinion, what you're getting from Luka right now is going to be what you get from Luka within the next 2 to 3 years, and then after that, you'll probably see a decline because Luka is not someone who is even taking care of himself far as like physically. He got into really good shape before the basketball season. And some people are even saying that it looks like Luka has put on weight, during the season, which in my opinion is really hard to do. But I don't know, you just don't have the commitment from Luka that you would need from somebody who's going to lead an organization into a championship type future. So are the Lakers wasting his better years? Partly so, I think so. But if Luka was as competitive as they needed him to be, and he pushed the issue, I think Luka would be able to get some things done. Now if Luka is waiting for LeBron James to leave, he don't want to make any waves as long as LeBron is there. We'll see, like next year once LeBron James is gone, like how Luka handles that situation. But even so, you just don't see. you see the same habits from Luka now and with the Lakers that you saw when he was with the when he was with the Mavericks. So I haven't really seen any change. Like I said, once I saw Luka lose weight last off season, I thought it was going to be a new, a new beginning for him, a fresh start. But it hasn't been like that. And I'm hoping that maybe, maybe it is because of LeBron James. He's waiting for LeBron James to leave so he could take that leadership role and be the and be the man on the team. And that's what he's going to have to do if Luka don't want to be, in my opinion, he don't want to be an NBA journeyman. Because if Luka gives the Lakers like 2 more years of playing the way he's playing now, I think the Lakers will move on from Luka. And once Luka goes to another team, like he won't go to another contending team. Because you got to think about it. The best teams in the league don't need what Luka brings to the table. They already have scores. They're number one. Everybody from Houston to OKC to the Spurs to the Timberwolves, everybody in the West have a number one player that plays at both ends, that play offense and defense. So they don't need Luka like that. Then when you go to the East, everybody in the East, the top teams in the East have a number one guy who plays at both ends, offense and defense. So when Luka leaves the Lakers, it's a good chance that he's not going to be with somebody like with one of those top teams in the East or the West. And hopefully for him, he won't be in a situation where he's like with the Wizards or a team like who I say like Sacramento, like one of the teams that like are at the bottom of the list when it comes to winning and stuff like that. He might get another chance and go to a team that's like in the middle of the pack, somebody hoping that Luka can revive their organization. He might get one more chance like that, I'm thinking. But if he don't do it, I mean, his career basically he'll probably be just like James Harden, just a journeyman, from going from team to team, scratching the surface, getting, maybe get to the playoffs, but then when you get to the playoffs, not really going to have a lot of success because of his style of play and his lack of dedication. That's, that in my opinion, that's what I see from Luka and his career. So I can't really agree with Nick Wright and blame it on the Lakers, saying that the Lakers are wasting his prime years. I think that a lot of that falls on Luka. I remember when Kobe Bryant was with the Lakers, man, Kobe threatened to, to want to go to another team because he wanted some urgency from the organization. Like, look, are y'all going to put the right players around me? Because Kobe was playing his heart out. And he, when you have somebody who's playing like that, you want to play with people who can match your energy, can match your intensity as far as your teammates. And so that's when they went out and got Pau Gasol and brought him in, and then Kobe wound up doing what he do, man, and they won championships. But I just don't see that type of work ethic with Luka. I don't see that type of competitiveness when it comes to Luka. And so yeah, I can't really agree with Nick Wright when he says that like the Lakers are wasting his prime years. At least now it's not always all the way on the Lakers' fault. On their behalf, it's not their fault. Because like I said, I think that the Lakers will say, well, what you showed us is not enough. I mean, and it's very telling. Like when the Mavericks got rid of him, when like who does that? Get rid of a franchise player like Luka, and really hold on. Yeah, when they get rid of a franchise basketball player, like who does that? So that's my take on it, man. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. With that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.